Hi guys, Mrs. Giroux here. We are starting our unit on movement and rhythm. We are at day 64 and we defined real and implied movement, and we looked at a video on abstract artists that is found on your Pinterest page, Pinterest unit on movement and rhythm, and we were able to define abstract and discuss abstract as well. It was a good, lively interaction. We trimmed off the edge of a piece of styrofoam. I'm going to show you how to do that. We created an abstract design which demonstrates your knowledge of movement and rhythm, implied, of course. And then we viewed Marcel Duchamp's Nude Descending Staircase, and we talked about implied movement. So here is the slide that I showed them. Did not give them the title because I wanted to see what they saw in this picture. So do a little research on this artist. We talked a little bit more about abstract art. And the video, here you go, the video that I really want you to look at, give me 1 second here, is found on this page. And of course, you should look at all of these on here just to give some visual examples, really. They're just really some good examples. We talked about Vincent van Gogh and so forth. This is the video right here, this one right here. If you have not seen that one before, great review, has lots of answered questions, answers to questions on the final exam, as well as what is abstract art, which you'll need to be able to verbalize as well as demonstrate for this project. And right here you're seeing Jackson Pollock, Abstract Expressionism. But go ahead and watch that. It's only 7 minutes long. It's very much worth your while in terms of acquired knowledge. So please go ahead and do that. All right. And then zoom in over here to our board. And what are we doing? We are creating an original work of art, incorporating your knowledge and understanding of the art principles, movement and rhythm. Why are we doing this? Because the purpose of movement is to create unity in an artwork through eye travel. Our eyes travel using implied paths or long implied paths that the artist you create. So there doesn't necessarily have to be a path in the picture. It's created in many, many different ways, and we discussed that in class. The use of repetition to create movement occurs when elements are repeated regularly, creating a visual rhythm. Think of even music, dot dash, dot dash, dot dash. You can hear the rhythm and even the pattern. So we talked about how art class is getting easier because of all the knowledge that you've acquired so far, all the elements, most of the principles so far, and we're using those, and the lessons seem to be getting a little bit easier. And we're working up to your a few final projects in the next few weeks in a painting unit as well. So I hope you're going to be here for that. All right, so coming back over here to our discussion, of course, Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night. We talked about visual movement in the sky and how was that created through dashed lines, through the color, okay, repeating it throughout the entire painting. And it's also referred to on the video I just asked you to watch on Pinterest, so make sure you do that. Last unit we talked about emphasis, and we worked with pattern, of course, and our optical illusion. That is creating a visual movement as well, isn't it? And we talked about Georgia O'Keeffe. The one on your final exam is, of course, Red Canna. And this one is actually called Stump in Red Hills. And before I told the class the name of this, I asked them to locate the movement or what they saw as movement in this picture. And of course, everyone was able to identify that their eye travels here, all right, and then may even come back over here and go all the way up to the top. So our eye is swerving up, okay? And this artist is Georgia O'Keeffe. And of course, that's by design. She wanted us to be able to view this. Painting was done in 1940. It's an oil on canvas. Okay. Then we talked about the art of Zentangle, but more importantly, we got out our piece of styrofoam. We trimmed off the edge. I called it the crust off all the sides. Just with, you can do this just with a pair of scissors. or tray that you might have at home, being careful not to make any indentations, even a nail scratch or a ring or whatever will make an indentation, and that will show up later. We're actually going to be using this project, and you can see here what we did today. We're creating visual movement and rhythm by repetition of elements. Okay, you can see that. Our supplies, I gave them a couple examples of different lines, although some of these, we discussed which ones were not showing movement. Okay, that really doesn't show movement right there, does it? It's a beautiful design, but it doesn't show movement. So this one, let me see if I can zoom in on that, definitely shows movement. There's some other ones here that show movement, and I'm going to show you the one up on the board, or actually on our Pinterest page. This one right here, so that's what we're basing our project on. Tomorrow we're going to complete the drawing of it if you haven't done that yet. We're going to add water-based markers. We're going to make a print. Then we're going to ink our plate again, our styrofoam plate, and print it again using black over the print that we're going to do tomorrow. So I hope you're here for the next day 65 and 66. We're going to be doing some printmaking and be discussing more of that. All right, so very briefly, that was the recap. And make sure you know what abstract art is. Look at the videos. And you know where to find these. These are on our Pinterest page. Okay, and all of our units of study are on this. All right, so make sure you're going to go to, I'm having trouble focusing today, sorry about that. Didn't want to make you dizzy. All right, that's our unit on rhythm and movement right there. All right, hope to see you tomorrow.